My name is Steve, and I'm your host for this morning. We are very excited to have you all here with us. I'm your Zoom host for this session. I'll be taking note of the chat box in both Zoom and Whova. For just a few reminders, this presentation will be recorded. If you do not want to be recorded, please leave your camera off. Please mute yourself during the presentation. A question and answer session will follow the presentation. Your mute button is located at the bottom left corner of your Zoom screen if you're on a desktop, but if you're on a mobile device, you can tap your screen and find the mute button at the bottom. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat box, as we will have time for questions at the very end. Your chat box can be found at the bottom center of the Zoom screen. Now to our program. We have Angela and Eessa, and they are here from the Outdoor Educators Ventana Wildlife Society. Now, without further ado, we'll turn it over to Angela and to Eessa. Good morning.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eessa. And
I'm Angela.
This is Angela, and we are instructors at Ventana Wildlife Society. Today, we're going to be doing an activity about the California condor wingspan. But as we're waiting for people to trickle in, we want to know, what is your favorite bird and why? So in the comment section, you can write what is your favorite bird and the reason for it. So Angela, what is your favorite bird to start off with?
My favorite bird is a chicken. What about you, Eessa?
A chicken? Why a chicken?
They're really cute and they're basically dinosaurs. I think they're pretty neat.
I'd have to say I really like woodpeckers, just because they always seem really cool to me. But yeah, in the comments, sorry, I can't read the comment section, but has anyone responded at all?
We'll give them a few more seconds.
Sure, we don't have any comments.
I don't see anything yet.
Alrighty. Well, that's all right, and you can go ahead and share if you'd like to. Nope, sorry, now I can see it. Oh, I see Tessa says she really likes red-tailed hawks. Those are really cool birds, and I see a lot of them here in Monterey County. Oh, that's a good one. Right, so in Monterey County, we have over 400 bird species that we can see here, such as the red-tailed hawk. We can probably see some chickens as well, and definitely some woodpeckers. But here at VWS, our favorite bird is the California condor. And that is because we really love working with this species. We've been working with this bird since 1997. And as you can see in this video, once it loads, each condor has a tag, so we've been monitoring these birds in Big Sur. In this video here, we have Redwood Queen, condor number 190, with her condor chick, Aniko. And as of 2019, we are able to monitor over 100 individual condors in the Big Sur area. And you can also check out our Condor live cam by checking out our ventanaws.org condor cam. And these are all live videos of condors out in the wild. One of the reasons why we work with this bird and why we care for this bird so much is it is an endangered species. Back in 1982, there were only 22 individuals left in the wild. So biologists had to make a difficult decision to either watch this species that had gone through so much with habitat loss and lead poisoning and trash ingestion, to watch it go extinct, or to start a captive breeding program. And luckily for us, that's exactly what biologists did. So back in 1987, they took all the remaining 22 condors and started a captive breeding program. So each condor has their own individual tag, so they all have their own number, and they all are tracked by our biologists and monitored by our biologists. So we started with 5 condors back in 1997 and now have over 100 as of 2019. And all of these condors are descended from those 22 individuals. One of the things about condors that we love so much about them is that they are a vulture species. So like other vultures, such as the turkey vulture, which we also see in Monterey County, there are only 22 vulture species in the whole world. Turkey vultures and condors are part of the New World vulture species. And like all vultures, they eat only carrion, so they eat only dead things. And Another thing that they really do, which is really cool, is when they're really hot, they do something known as urohydrosis. So as where we sweat, condors have to pee on their feet. So that's how they stay cool. Luckily for us, we don't have to do that. But that is a really cool adaptation that vultures have. One of the things that makes the California condor super unique is that it is also the largest land bird in North America. So here we have a picture of their wingspan compared to other birds, such as the red-tailed hawk and the golden eagle. So they are pretty large animals. So here in this picture, we have an example of what their primary feathers look like. Those are the feathers that kind of look like fingers on the tips of their wings. And these are super essential for condors to be able to fly like other birds. So here I have an example of what their primary feather looks like. So this primary feather, as you can see, is about the length of my arm. So you can imagine that based on this picture, how big this bird must be if one of their primary feathers is the length of my arm. So in the comments section, you can write what you think the answer is. What is the wingspan of a California condor? Is it A, 4 feet, B, 6 feet, C, 10 feet, or D, 20 feet? All right, so we got a lot of answers for C, 10 feet, and you are absolutely right. The California condor has a wingspan of 9.5 to 10 feet long. So they are very large animals. So I'm 5.5 feet tall. So for me, that would be almost 2 times my height to be a California condor wingspan. So they are very large animals. So as you can see with this condor here, that would be about 1.5 times my height. So we are going to do an activity where we are going to calculate the California condor's wingspan compared to household items. So if everyone can go ahead and grab a ruler, a pencil, some paper, and one item that you would like to compare to a California condor. So we'll give everyone about 30 seconds to grab those items. In the meantime, while we wait, does anyone have any questions that you would like answered? I can take about 2 questions now.
Sure, I have a question, and maybe I'll get to this later. But are you going to talk about the impacts from the Dolan fire, or how the species is recovering, or I guess any efforts there?
Right, yeah, that is a really good question. So unfortunately, we did lose a few individuals in the Dolan fire, and we did lose our condor release site down in Big Sur, where we would release the condors after captivity. Unfortunately enough, our biologists worked really hard to rescue as many individuals as we could. Nico, the chick that we saw in the video, was rescued, and he's doing really well in the recovery program right now, and he should be released within the year back in Big Sur. So although we did lose a few individuals, we are making a recovery from the Dolan fire.
That's great. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Are you having to rebuild
we did
the
also
release?
lose one of our
Sorry,
yes, we are also rebuilding our release site. Right now we have another site a little bit further south that we are using. So we have been releasing condors at that site. We also have Condor Zoom updates every month that you can join. It's free, where our biologists give heads up about what's going on with our condor flock and the progress that they're making. We are focusing a lot on Nico, who is one of our newest condor chicks, who has also made a recovery.
Okay, neat.
Does anyone else have any questions as well? Awesome. So we're going to be comparing the Condor's wingspan to objects found every day in our house. So we'll start off with a super easy one. How many rulers does it take to make a California Condor's wingspan? So a ruler, as we all know, is about 1 foot. So really simple math with this one is 10 feet divided by 1 foot. So with our California Condor, it would take about 10 rulers to make a California Condor's wingspan. So in this case, we would have 10 rulers laid out. And it doesn't seem that long when you just compare it to 1 ruler, but keeping in mind, our California Condor has their primary feather is about 1 arm's length. So it is a really large bird. So then going back to pencils, which is really an object that we have every day around our house. Pencils are about 1/2 foot long in length. So keeping in mind with that, how many condors or how many pencils would it take to make a condor's wingspan? Does anyone have any guesses as to how many pencils it would take? Abby says 20. Nice, yeah. That's a good guess. 35 from Tessa. Yeah, that is a lot of pencils. So our condors would be about 16 pencils in length. Again, it doesn't seem like that many pencils, but later on we'll have a picture of Angela comparing herself to 16 pencils. And it actually does, it is a lot longer than you think it would be. But yeah, 35 and 20 is also a really good answer depending on the size of the pencil that we have. And as for myself, I really love coffee. Like I have that every morning. So I wanted to compare how many coffee cups would it take to make a California Condor's wingspan. So a coffee cup is a little bit more than 1/2 foot depending on the size, but similarly to a pencil, it's a little bit longer than that. Does anyone have any guesses of how many coffee cups it would take to make a California Condor's wingspan? Abby says 12. That's a really good guess. 20. Nice, yeah. So depending on our coffee cup size, I compared it to a Starbucks venti size. And we have tall coffee cups, yeah. It would be about 17.5 coffee cups. So about 17.5 venti Starbucks cups would be about the size of a California Condor's wingspan. Once again, if you look at that coffee cup, it doesn't really seem like that many, but if you were to lie down next to them, it would make a really big difference. So now that we got some comparisons, so the pencils, the rulers, the coffee cups, does anyone have any items that you'd like to compare to a California Condor's wingspan that we can help calculate for you today?
I have some items around here. I got a fork.
Awesome. What do you have?
I'm not in the bathroom, I swear, but I have a roll of toilet paper over here. And a fork. What else? And a beer coaster. So we could pick one.
Nice. Well, I think toilet paper is pretty relevant right now, especially. Do you know about the height of what the toilet paper is?
I would say maybe like 4 or 5 inches. So that might
5
be
inches.
like
Awesome.
1/3 of a ruler. So that to be like 30 of these maybe.
Right. Yeah. So it'd be
My math
about a
is
third of
wrong.
that. Nice. So if we look at comparing the toilet paper compared to a condor's wingspan, does anyone have any ideas of how we might be able to do that? Considering, so we have to make it first into feet. So how many feet is a toilet paper if it's about 4 inches? And yeah, if you were to calculate it without converting inches to feet, we might have a very different answer, right? So if we have about a third of a foot, we then have to compare that to 10 feet of the California condor's wingspan. So we'd have to divide the California condor's wingspan to that. Does anyone have any guesses? Right, yeah, so it'd be about 30 toilet paper rolls to make a whole California condor's wingspan. So that is a lot of toilet paper that we'd need for a California condor. I also saw Jenny mentioned in the comments an iPhone. Do you have how large or how long an iPhone might be, depending on the iPhone or the height of it? Seven inches. All right. So if we were to compare that to feet, we'd have to say that's about maybe half, right? So about 2 per feet. So then that would be, does anyone have a guess on how many iPhones we'd need if we were to compare that to a California condor's wingspan? So yeah, you're absolutely right. It would be about 20, so about 18 to 20 iPhones to make one California condor's wingspan. So we definitely need a lot of phones to do that. So there are a lot of ways that you can calculate a California condor's wingspan compared to household items. And one of the challenges that we have for you or everyone here is that you can compare it by drawing a California condor. So here we have a condor drawn to comparison with coffee cups. Or you can also place those items down and sit next to them to compare your height to those items. So here we have with Angela those 16 the 16 pencils. And Angela, in that picture, I noticed it's kind of cropped. How long was it compared to you?
There were at least 2.5, 3 pencils that were above my head.
Nice, yeah. So we need a lot of those items to compare ourselves to a condor's wingspan, because even though it doesn't seem like a lot, it once we add it all up, it is pretty large. So Ventana Wildlife Society, we have also a number of ways that you can learn more about the California condor, but also about our natural history. We offer discovery camps for ages 8 to 12 and wee ones in the woods ages 5 to 7. And you can find these programs at our website. Right now, we currently are doing Zoom programming, but we also normally would offer in person. And we are offering summer camp starting this summer for those programs. We also offer currently Zoom classes for ages 5 to 12. This is our schedule for the next few weeks with our Zoom classes. We are going to be talking about jellyfish this week, sustainable living, national parks, and upcycling at home. So if your child is interested in joining our programs, we'd love to see you there. You can check out these programs at our website at ventanaws.org. Does anyone have any questions about the California Condor or our activity or our outdoor education programs? And Angela can also help answer these questions as well.
Sorry, did you say when the summer program starts? What dates for kids?
Right, I believe we'll be starting in June. Is that correct, Angela?
Yes, I'm looking up the exact date right now.
Okay. Do you have a July program too, or just a June?
Yes, we have programs into August.
Okay.
I believe the first date of our
Yeah,
June
please.
program is June 7th through the 11th.
Right,
That's
and
great.
each class will focus on a particular topic for the whole week. And we have different weekly topics until August. So depending if your child's interested in a particular topic, we'll be offering those classes.
Okay, that's neat. I'm glad that you're doing that. It's great. I had kind of a silly question about vultures. I'm not sure if you could answer, but I always wonder this because I'm a big trail runner. So I am always wondering, like, if there's vultures near me, can they sense, predators? Can they sense where there's prey and predators because they're looking for carrion? Like, I'm always thinking, is there a mountain lion nearby me because there's a vulture around? So just a question.
No, that's a really good question. So vultures, I don't know if they have the ability to sense, like, if a mountain lion's coming like by you, but they do have a really good sense of smell. Turkey vultures in particular can smell carrion about a mile away. And condors don't have a really good sense of smell, but they usually follow turkey vultures to those sites. But they can smell carrion about a mile away.
Okay. Yeah, so not so much that someone would become carrion, but they could smell it if it's already dead. So maybe there could be something in the area that's fresh carrion. Okay, that's interesting.
Right, yeah, so those cartoons of vultures waiting in the desert, not really accurate, but they are able to sense a pretty big distance from where that is.
Okay, that's
they
probably
also
where
are not very good at hunting, or that they don't hunt. So they usually will wait until predators have left before they take their next meal. And big Sur condors in particular, we are able to see them not only hang out near terrestrial life, but they also are found a lot along our beaches in Big Sur, and they're basically our garbage disposal team. So anything that they can find, they will eat. We actually documented condors eating a beached whale that was found in Big Sur, and that hadn't been seen for over 100 years. So that was really exciting. Does anyone have any other questions?
I don't see any others in the chat
We
yet,
also have,
Steve. Just letting you know.
I don't see any others either at this point, and we have about maybe 5 minutes left. Maybe I can ask a question. The dates that you had in April for kids between the ages 5 and 12, do you also do individual field trips for school classes virtually?
Right. Yeah. We also offer in-person or Zoom presentations right now. So if you are a teacher that's looking to have presentations hosted, we do offer that. You can send us an email at ventanaws@gmail.com.
Perfect.
And we offer presentations on vulture adaptations and our work with biologists with condors.
Great. Thank you.
I have a question.
Nice. I see a question. Oh, yes.
And I was wondering what the WS is after Ventana. What does it mean?
Oh, that's Ventana Wildlife Society.
Okay.
For our website, we have it as WS.
Okay, thank you.
And there's another question in the chat about what is the difference between a vulture and a condor, size, looks, etc. That's a good question.
That's a really good question. So I can't really tell in this photo, but we do have a comparison of condors and vultures in this photo here. So the condor is the one that has the tag. This is Condor 970, I believe. And we also have the turkey vultures standing right underneath it. So size comparison, we can see a very big difference. Turkey vultures have a wingspan of about 6 feet, whereas condors have a wingspan of 10 feet. So they're almost twice the size of turkey vultures. This picture doesn't really show it, but condors also have a white feathers down right underneath their arm and black feathers at the bottom, whereas turkey vultures, it's the opposite. So they'll have darker feathers on the top and then lighter feathers on the bottom. So that's one thing that you can look for. If they're flying and you can't really see those colors of the wings, what you can also do is see how they're flying. So turkey vultures kind of fly in like a V shape and they wobble a lot. So if you're seeing wobbling, that's usually a turkey vulture. If the wings are more straight and they're gliding, that's usually a condor because they don't really wobble as much.
Condors often fly a little bit higher as well. So if you're seeing them fly pretty low, chances are it might be a turkey vulture.
Also, location. In Monterey County, we only really have condors in Big Sur. So if you see them outside of Big Sur, it's usually a turkey vulture. So if you see them in Monterey and Marina and Seaside, it's most likely a turkey vulture compared. If you're close enough, also, you can also see if they have a tag. We only tag condors. So if you see a number, that's definitely a condor. If they don't have that tag, it is most likely a turkey vulture, or it might be a juvenile condor that we haven't tagged at the moment.
If you do see a tag as well, something that's pretty neat is we have Condor Spotter, which is a website that you can look up the tag number and find out all about the condor that you've just seen.
I was wondering where they got their names. Where did the name Condor come from? And where did turkey vulture come from, those names?
That is a really good question. I believe the word for condor came from, I think it's Incan. So it came from the word that was used in Incan culture, which sounded really similar. I'm not quite sure of the name. And as for turkey vulture, I'm not really quite sure, but it is a really interesting name to have. I believe it's because they look really similar to turkeys. It was a really easy comparison.
Thank you so much. It looks like we're almost out of time here. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover before wrapping up today, Angela or Eessa?
Well, thank you so much for having us. If you are interested in learning more, you can definitely check out our website, ventanaws.org. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. And as Angela mentioned, you can also, if you do see a condor, you can check out condorspotter.com to see the individual and its name.
Mhm.
And we definitely recommend visiting Big Sur or Pinnacles if you want to see them in person.
You can also follow us on social media if you want to keep up with the happenings at Ventana Wildlife Society. We have a page on Facebook for education programs, and we also have an Instagram and a Facebook for our main Ventana condor tracking aspect.
Great. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here. Your feedback is valuable to us. There's a post-session survey with only 2 questions. Please rate the session by clicking on the button Rate Session in Whova below this video, or posting your thoughts on the community board under General Feedback. Please enjoy more sessions on the agenda and our pre-recorded videos. Then go outside and enjoy your local parks and open spaces. Thank you 2 very much. And thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning. Have a wonderful day.